Many of you are troubled with your thoughts. Yes, with your own thoughts. And even though I made videos before about thoughts, I thought that it was time to make another one yet more explicit, so to speak. So you can finally stop identifying yourself with the thoughts that appear through your mind and definitely relax a little bit. Because the thing is, when you identify with your own thoughts and those thoughts are not positive, they're not something you want to think about, well, it drags you down for sure. But it's always the same thing. If you are dragged down by your thoughts, well, it means that you are dragged down by the human character who has the thought. And this is how you see yourself as this separate self from your true nature. So, let's talk about thoughts and what they are. And I have a bunch of visuals to help you understand my point even better. If you know me, you know I like to use scriptures from the Bible because they are textbook of spiritual truth, of spiritual law. And in Matthew 6:25, it says, "Take no thought for your life." And that is very true. Your thoughts are not yours to own. So let's go to the beginning one more time with some visual explanation so you can understand this better. So you, as I am, your true nature, who you truly are this faceless, formless, absolute power. This is who you are. The source of your whole experience as this human character. So let's represent you as this whole screen. I am awareness is this whole screen that you are watching right now. Now, within the screen of awareness, there is a human form, you, your character, or the character, which is even better because you should not identify too much with the character. So it's even better if you get used to call it the character than my character. But it's okay. If you want to call it my character, that's okay too. But within awareness, there is you as this human character. And this human character has thoughts, emotions, and bunches of other things that appear within the mind of this character, of this human being that you believe that's all you are. But this is not all you are, because as you can see, this human being with her thoughts and emotions, and if you are a guy, you put a guy there instead of the girl, you as this human being exist within awareness. But what happens is that when you are too much within your thoughts, you think that your thoughts mean something about you. You think that they are telling you something. You think that they are important and you give them a lot of attention and you identify with them and so forth and so on. When you do that, what happens is that you are completely forgetting that you are source within which the thoughts just appear. So then you see yourself as this. So by identifying yourself too much with the thought, you completely forgot who you truly are. It's completely gone now. You really believe that you are this person having those thoughts going through her mind. And that's all you see, and that's all you believe at this point. Because you now identify with the thoughts, thinking that they really mean something, that they are really saying something to you about you. And you have forgotten who you truly are. So as you can see here in this visual, I am is gone. And now you have forgotten who you truly are. You are so much into the thought, you are disturbed by those thoughts that all you see, all you are right now is this person feeling very anxious because of her or his own thoughts. And when you are so entangled by your own thoughts, you completely forget the truth, which is a fact. This is what happens when we identify too much with the human character and their thoughts. You are completely entangled, you are completely prisoner of your own thought, and you are forgetting about the truth, which is that the character and her mind and thoughts are part of the manifestation, are part of the illusion, part of the manifestation within the dream. So you as this character are not even real, because the real you is I am. You are just a character playing a role according to whatever you identify yourself with, or if you have dropped all identification, well, you truly understand that you are this form, this physical form, but this is just a character, a role that you are playing to experience life in the 3D form. But who you really are is the power behind that form. So, what those thoughts that you got attached to so much were, they were just thoughts. A thought is just an object, it's an idea, it's a reflection about something. It is really an object that appears through the screen of awareness. If, as an example, as an analogy, you think about thoughts as clouds in the sky, do the clouds affect the sky? No, they don't. If you've ever been on an airplane flying above the clouds, you know very well how bright and blue the sky is above the clouds. The sky is the sky. The sky doesn't change. The sky is not affected at all by the clouds, whether they are high clouds or low clouds. It doesn't matter. They are just objects passing by, coming and going. And your thoughts are exactly like that as far as awareness is concerned. Awareness is that space that you could compare to the sky. And thoughts are like clouds, objects passing by, coming and going. But what trips you with thoughts is that you actually define thoughts differently depending on what they are. So, for example, if you think about what you ate for dinner last night, if you think about what your mother told you the last time you saw her, if you think about what you are going to wear tomorrow, if you think about your last vacation, or if you think about that mean thing that your SP told you the last time you spoke to him or her, you are going to define those thoughts as different. This is an important thought. This is just a thought that just came up. This is a thought that means nothing. But the point is, none of them mean anything. None of them are important. And none of them appear throughout your mind, through the screen of awareness, any differently. If you do that very easy exercise, if you close your eyes for a few seconds to a minute, and you just let your mind go wherever it wants to go, you are going to notice that you have no control whatsoever over the thoughts that are coming by. You don't control them. You don't know what they are going to be the second before they appear. You don't know. Because you are not the doer of the thought. They just appear through the screen of awareness. And yes, thoughts, they will also appear depending on your state of being, your state of consciousness, your identity. So, for example, if you are telling me, but I think a lot about this or that, okay. The only reason you have those persistent thoughts, it's because they just stem from whoever you are identifying yourself as, whatever state of being, state of consciousness you are occupying. So yes, you are going to have matching thoughts, but thoughts are never a cause. They are always just an effect. They are objects. They are an effect. They are secondhand stuff. They don't mean anything. And they don't manifest anything. Because another reason why you are so panicky because of your thoughts is that you believe that the thought manifests. No, 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 no. Your thoughts can't manifest because they are part of the manifestation. Like I said, even if they are like very annoying, very insistent thoughts, they stem from the state that you are in, from your identity, if you prefer using the word identity. That's where the thoughts come from. So, for example, if you want to use that SP thing, right? You have very heavy thoughts about your SP. Well, don't blame the thoughts to start with. And please don't believe that they are manifesting anything. The only reason you have that thought is because you identify as that person right now who would have such a thoughts. And that's the only reason you have them. If you don't like your thoughts, go to the root. Don't blame the thoughts and don't give them the power they don't have, such as they manifest. No. When someone tells me, oh, I thought about that, and boom, it manifested. That's not the thought that manifested your stuff. That's the state behind the thought. That's the identity you are identifying yourself as right now, behind the thought that manifested this or that, not the thought themselves. So the next time you have any unwanted, undesirable thoughts, ask yourself the question, am I the one thinking the thought? Well, while you may believe that you are the one thinking the thought from this human character, those thoughts are just objects passing by through the screen of awareness, and also, yes, based on the state of consciousness, the state of being that you occupy, the identity that you identify yourself as. But in both cases, they are manifested. They are objects being manifested. So, in truth, there is no thinker, because the one that you believe is thinking is actually not thinking. And that one is the human character. The human character is just producing those objects that we call thoughts based on the state of consciousness, again, based on the identity that the character identify themselves with, and also based on the fact that throughout awareness, through the screen of awareness, thoughts just show up out of nowhere. like noise. So when you understand what thoughts really are, they're just object manifested throughout the screen of awareness. And yes, oftentimes based on your state of consciousness, based on who you believe that you are. But really, when you are aware of those things, you stop pretending that you are the one creating the thoughts. There is no thinker, there is no doer, and you are not manifesting thoughts. They manifest on their own, based on your state, based on your identity, through the screen of awareness. And no, they don't manifest anything. They can't. An object, a manifestation themselves can't manifest anything. The part that does manifest is the state of consciousness, the state of being, the identity behind the thoughts. I hope this was helpful. And I really hope that after this video, I will have at least fewer questions about thoughts and about what to do with them and all the questions that you guys have about thoughts. But if you do have questions, don't worry, I don't bite. I'll still answer your questions. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, share it if you can, comment. This helps the channel, helps the video to be seen by more people who need it. And thank you again, and see you next time.